how's it going? And I thought I would do another story time session with you. This one's an interesting one. I have been considering doing this story for a little while now, but I don't know, like I didn't want to necessarily like jump on the paranormal bandwagon, and I don't necessarily like to call this paranormal, and you'll find out why. So for those who don't know, I have 3 kids. They are now the ages of 12, 10, and 8. And I want to say this was 4 to 5 years ago. So when we moved here to this house, we realized that the bedrooms were rather small, but the closet sizes were rather large. Not like super large, but pretty decent size compared to the fact that the bedrooms were so small. My boys had, at the time, this really bulky, chunky dresser with 3 very tall drawers. So we had that in their closet. So to give you the layout of my son's closet, like if you're walking right into the closet, to the left is their dresser, and you can pull the drawers out this way. And then to the right of the closet is our 2 clothes rods. So there's like a clothes rod, and then there's a shelf, and then there's a clothes rod below it. I had everything that the boys needed in the bottom 2 dressers. There was no need for me to put anything up at the top. So one day I was sitting in the living room with my daughter and my son, so my oldest and my youngest, when we hear this loud crash, and then I hear my middle child give out a cry. And so I bolt up, run down the hall, and I knew as I was running toward the sound that it was the dresser that had fallen over. So come to find out, my son either tried crawling up the dresser and it fell over, or he was trying to get something from the top. So I walk in and I see that the bottom 2 drawers have him pinned against the wall underneath that shelf there. And thank God for this shelf, because if that shelf wasn't there, I have no idea what would have happened. If it would have fallen through the wall and smashed on him, I don't know. So I reach down, I push the drawers back in enough so that my son can get out of the way, and at that moment I realize that I'm kind of stuck. So I kind of try to wiggle myself underneath the dresser to be able to push it back up, when I find that I cannot push it back up because the foot of the dresser kept hitting the wall about 1 inch above the baseboard. And so I would try pushing it and realizing it would still hit the wall. And so even if I could get it past the wall, it would still catch on the baseboard. And with how I was sitting, I couldn't pull the dresser forward 1 inch to put it. Also on top of that too, it was such a bulky and big dresser that I couldn't hold it for very long. So I considered at that time to just drop it, because I couldn't really let it down. With how it was like I had to just drop it, and I worried that it would break the shelf, which would tear up the wall. So I figured either way I went, I was going to be damaging something. At this moment, my daughter makes light of the moment. Oh, Mom's being a superwoman, or something to that degree. Mom, look at Mom. And I'm sitting here going, I don't know what to do. And so I considered for that moment just manpowering it up and then just dealing with the disaster that I might do later, when I hear a voice in my head say that you need help. And I'm sitting there with my daughter kind of, making this, Mom. When I finally said, no, honey, Mommy's stuck. Mommy needs help. And the moment I said that, the dresser went from feeling bulky and heavy to light as a feather, and it started going up by itself. And it was just like I just guided it up. I barely touched it. It was like I was just guiding it. And I stood there and was like, holy crud! Did that seriously just happen? Well, we ended up getting rid of the dresser, but when we took it out of the closet, I found the foot mark where the foot was of the dresser, and then right next to it was the foot mark of where it originally was before it fell over. I took a picture of it. I do not know if I still have it, but it was literally like the foot of the dresser was here, and then like right next to it was the foot of where it used to be. The reason why I struggle calling it paranormal, even though technically it is paranormal, is because to me paranormal sounds scary and spooky and weird, when this was something that to me isn't scary, spooky, or weird. This was something that was really nice, and a nice reminder that yeah, you know, there are spirits that we hear of that bother us, that hurt us, that scare us, that haunt us, but there are also angels and spirits that are there to help us and to like be a guide and a comfort for us. So that's my story. What do you guys think? Do you have any stories similar to this? If so, put them down below and I would love to read them. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep following me, please subscribe. All my social media links are down below, but most importantly, y'all have a good day. I'll catch you on the flip. Bye guys.